So non-duality is the remembering of something which is deeply hidden in most humans. It's like something they can't remember. That's why a lot of teachers call it waking up, because it's so hidden in them. And it's not something which goes in time. So it's it's not a thought, it's not an idea, it's not a behavior. And if it's not that, then we don't know what to look for. We don't know how to achieve that. What we're used to with our human bodies and with our human mind is grasping at things, getting things, changing things, doing things. And it's always subject-object space. There's a me here that can achieve something. So waking up is, in one way, the closest thing to who you are, the most intimate sense of being. It's like the most obvious and free thing there is, but at the same time it's like insanely confusing for the thinking mind and for that illusory person that wants to achieve things and do things and become something. So it's not about healing yourself, although I totally recommend healing the person. It's not about you intellectually understanding things, although I totally recommend understanding non-duality intellectually and understanding healing and understanding how to live a more healthier, free, happy life. But it's actually not about that. And the reason that you can say so clearly that it's not about that is because these are things that you can achieve. So if you can achieve it, that's not it. So half the audience now cuts out. This might be why people tend not to like my video. They're like, fucking hell, man. Oh, that's got me a bing bing. I just swore. I am a bit of a swearer, but this YouTube doesn't like it, so I tend to try to restrain it just for YouTube. I also, the audience members don't like it as well. I also get messages talking about my repressed energy or sexual energy because I swear. Yeah. So then it's like, why on earth would we even talk about something that we can't achieve? But non-duality is trying to point out that there is something in experiencing that's beyond you. that's beyond achievement, that's beyond pleasure in time or pain, and it's always been here. So since you were born, believe it or not, there was always this awake presence. And you could say that this awake presence has two qualities. It has this empty looking, this consciousness, this no-thingness that's looking. It's like absolute still, peaceful looking. And this love side, which you could say is the everything side, which is this I am. But not I am a baby. Like as a baby, you weren't like contemplating the nature of reality and who you were and what your meaning was in life. You just were like, what is this that I've been born into? Did I ask for this? Yeah, so as a baby, there were these two qualities. Everything else was up in the air. Your personality, your name, your way of being, your looks, everything else was in change, in flux. Like the baby grows so rapidly. Like most babies, when they come out, they look like old people that are very red. Not all. And then they're quite not so pretty looking, and then within a few months they look quite adorably cute. And they've grown quite a lot. So it's like this very rapid change as a baby. But the baby has no sense of who it is. It's not laying there with a center, but yeah, it has this immense beingness. And it doesn't know it has a hand. It's like, has no sense that's its hand. It has no sense that it's suckling off its mother's breast, which is quite a bizarre thing. I am eating my mother. There's no sense of who the mother is. It just is. It doesn't have this whole existential drama of who I am, what is my position in the world, what have I got to do in order to be loved. It's just being. And it doesn't have very strong memory, so it's not really memorizing its beingness. So you can't remember being a baby because the memory wasn't very strong at that age. And we always have this sense of being. We always have this two qualities, this empty looking and this sense of I am. They're always present. That never leaves. Ever. Yeah, that's fantastic news. So the essence never leaves. What does come and go is the appearance of you. What you want, what you don't want, what you think, what you like, what you don't like. And that comes and goes. So you is an ever-changing phenomena. Ever-changing. It never stays the same, even though you think you do. It kind of like has a pattern to it, but it never stays the same. It's always growing and evolving. Like if you think about your personality when you were 13 to now, it's quite a big evolution. There will be lots of similarities, but even your face, like when I look back at my videos over the years, like my face changes so much. Of course, it looks much younger now. The Botox has worked. That's a joke. I don't have Botox, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do all my facial expressions. But if you do have Botox, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not one of those spiritual teachers that's against plastic surgery or anything like that. I think each to their own. each to their own, and that's really beautiful, whatever you pick, as long as it comes from like a pace of healing and growing. I don't think it'll be destructive. If it comes from like a really contracted place, then maybe it will, but that's the same as all things. And if you feel like a new nose will help you grow and expand and change your beliefs about yourself, why not? Why not? I don't like people judging other people for that. Because it's predominantly woman judging woman, judging woman, judging woman, judging woman, judging woman, judging woman in that situation. Yeah, it's like a weird thing that we do to ourselves. I'm not saying the men species isn't involved, but yeah, I'm getting into hot water there. Get off that subject. We're talking about non-duality, Lisa. Yeah, so that is always there, this empty looking and this I am. There's no change in that ever, ever. You can't ever be alive without consciousness. In deep sleep, there's nothing to be conscious of, so therefore there's no memory of it, because what would you remember? But there's always consciousness. But this is going to sound a little bit strange, but I'm just saying this to prove a point. And in your waking hours, like consciousness is the first thing that's there. Like I always say, it gets switched on when you wake up in the morning, but it's actually always there. It's conscious, so there's consciousness, and then what gets switched on is the apparent person. And when the person comes in, the memory begins, so you begin to remember the experience. You don't remember deep sleep. So what's absent in deep sleep is memory. And then when you wake up, there is still this consciousness, and then the person begins to appear, and there's this awakeness, and then you begin to come to light, your memory's turned on, and then you're like, where am I? Oh, I'm in bed. What do I got to do? Nothing. It's Sunday. So there's all these thoughts. So consciousness is like always present. Always present. Sometimes when I describe that, I'm like, consciousness is the first thing when you wake up. But it's just a way of describing it. It's trying to say like the consciousness is there all the time. It's there prior to you. You is something that appears in consciousness. It's not like prior to you waking up in the morning, there is a you there in the background, like typing on a computer program, on a keyboard, like, and then turning on consciousness and waking up. It's like there is awakeness, and then in comes you, remembering yourself. And this consciousness, the reason that it's so important and so fundamental to healing as well, is because it's totally free. It's like the safe place in experiencing. So in this world, all manner of things can happen. All manner of things. Good, bad. You can be a really amazing person, have amazing karma, and then tsunami comes or something. We don't know what's going to happen. This life is wild. All types of things can happen. And you could say in a way there is no safe place in that. You can have safer lives and less safe lives. And there's like great therapeutic ways in order to create a more safe, more secure, more integrated life for yourself. But in a way, ultimately, it's not safe. Like everything dies, everything changes. So even if you have like a really ultra safe life now, then nuclear war could come or something. Anything can happen. But I don't mean to get people paranoid about this. I know this could fit into like OCD thinking, like, oh God, something terrible is going to happen. It's just accepting the nature of life. Like everything is in change. And we don't know what the future holds. But this is like you'll get out of jail free, because the consciousness and the I am are never affected. And the I am is the love that you've always wanted. It's that big, expanded love that you've always wanted. And the consciousness is the silent stillness. It's always here. It never left. Ever. And there's nothing you can do to make it abandon you. So even if you do something terrible, if you're the one that presses the button for the nuclear war, that never abandons you. That never says, you've been a really terrible person this time, I'm going to abandon you. It can't. It's always there. It's even there in death. It never leaves. It's the nature of everything in this world. And waking up to me is this recognition of it. There's different stages to waking up, but like the main waking up that I'm talking about is the recognition and an energetic shift to that. So you no longer feel like you're a person experiencing this life. You're resting in yourself. You feel like this is consciousness experiencing, and like consciousness and the I am are your fundamental sense of being, and the person comes and goes in it. So it's like an energetic shift, and it's no longer feeling like this boundedness inside of the body. Like you are bound. You as a person are bound. So this is the most important part of recognition. This is the most important part to me, is this recognition and this shift. And we're not really talking about healing the person here. However, healing of the person is like part and parcel of waking up. It's like undeniable that the you is going to change in a more positive and open and expanded way. It's impossible not to when you begin to question yourself. And it's impossible not to do therapy on yourself as well. Like changing your dynamics, the way you interact with people, the way you look at the world. Like it's going to change everything. Because what we're saying is that life is oneness, not two. And that everything is connected, like everything is interconnected. It's the same energy, it's one thing. And so if you really realize that, that's going to fundamentally change the beliefs as the person. Like, how can you hate your neighbor? How can you hate that person? How can you be like stuck in perpetual fear? There is a shift that will naturally occur in the person. I'm not saying that this shift makes the person a perfect person and an enlightened person. I don't believe in that. But it certainly changes the perspective and changes the energy from what it was before, which is very much about me, my life, the way I interact with society, what's happening to me, who likes me, I'm the center of the universe. It really changes that. It makes you question all types of dynamics and beliefs that you have. So yeah. So the title, like nuclear war, like, how many times do I say in war? So the title about nuclear war is, to me, the way in which non-duality stops nuclear war is on an individual basis. Like the recognition of this is love. So even if you have difficult personality dynamics, even after waking up, the fundamental sense of this is love, is a connectedness with all things, and it doesn't want to cause harm. It might cause harm by ignorance or by not taking things into consideration, but it doesn't want to go up and kill people in the street or create war. It's more like it will do things accidentally, not understanding a dynamic and doing something. Or, but it wouldn't intentionally want to kill or hate on someone or hate a whole different nation. That all seems so abstract, that there's this whole nation of people that are different from me, and I need to kill them in order to secure my safety. I know it's not as simple as that. There's like so many people involved. But the way that non-duality stops war is if everybody recognized non-duality. You wouldn't want to hurt your species, but I don't mean just recognizes it intellectually, because there's different stages to it. I mean really recognizing it on the heart level. Like really that I am level. There is not the desire to hate. There is no hate. Like there is none of this blame, like they've done this to me, they are guilty. There is blame in a responsible way. There is maybe like emotions of sadness and grief, but it's not like this hate-based blame that wants revenge, that wants to dominate. It just wouldn't be able to do that. So if you want to stop it, then you have to get everybody you know into non-duality, which will be a disaster. People are ready when they're ready. And that, I think, is like a really powerful statement, because I don't know if that's the same if you all went to therapy, because therapy works on the person and changes the person and makes the person more balanced, but I don't think it has such a profound energetic shift. Like if you're in contact with love all the time, you couldn't do that. So therapy doesn't necessarily connect you to that love of the I am. Like when you've been in love with someone, like really in love, not in a possessive way, but you just have these moments of like really being in love with them. Like how could you think about war? I don't mean possessive, needy, addictive love. I mean in a very expansive, like just like don't want to be anywhere else, completely dissolved in that moment love. You can't think of then like, I hate you so much, I'm going to get up and set my nukes on you. Poof! It just wouldn't happen. I also think that this life is magical, but I don't really have intellectual clarity on that. It's like a feeling, it's not like a teaching. It's like, I think that, like in a way, as humans, we're collectively creating, like telepathically in a way. So at the moment, it doesn't surprise me that nuclear war is like beckoning, because we just had this 2 years of lockdown, and I think it's created a lot of mental illness, a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, a lot of hate, a lot of social problems. And through that, I think in general population, there is this sense of frustration and anger and maybe hate. Eckhart Tolle, I think I was listening the other day, is saying that we're becoming more and more mad. And so our society is going to reflect that, because we're like a collective animal that's all thinking as one. We think we're thinking individually, but we're so deeply affected by the thoughts that are around us. It's really infectious. If like 70% of the population all started imagining blue at the same time, the rest of the 30% of the population would start imagining blue without any verbal messaging to do so. We're so convinced by speaking that speaking is the ultimate. The communication is just about speaking and our body language, and that's it. And there's so much more to communication that we haven't discovered and that scientists don't research, because what money is in that. maybe like people. Oh, I think that my audio stopped, right? Forgot what I was saying. Something about war, but it was miserably finished. Yeah. So that's the other thing. If you're into non-duality, that's another impus, yeah, bagpus, another bagpus, impus, I can't say it. It's another momentum to connect with the I am, because the more that you connect with your freedom and your I am and the love and the empty looking, that is infectious to everyone that's around you. We're not separate. It's like a dominoes effect. So we've got to like love, 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 and then we blast the rest of society into love. We nuke them with love. But you have to concentrate on that, or be centered in that. Yeah. Okay. So we take questions now.